YouTube, what is going on? Today we got our first MLB The Show 25 video. We're going to get started right away with the hitting tips video. Now, I've been a top player, or, semi-top for the last couple years now. I've gone, flawless every year in MLB The Show. I've made World Series, 1,000 rated. So I can definitely teach you how to hit, fellas. Now, let's not waste any time and get right into the video. Now, the very first thing you want to do is go into either custom practice or a challenger league. These are going to be your absolute two best friends. Personally, like custom practice a little bit better just because I can customize, what I need to practice on. Now, first off, we're going to go into settings. This is going to be your most important thing you do right before, really get into this game and really dive into it. Now, zone hitting interface is the way to go. Now, directional is not really that good, and timing also. Zone is what's going to give you the most control over your hitting results. Next up, PCI anchor. You can leave this on or off. I tend to go, they added all these new features, which are really good. I personally don't use it. I used it a lot last year, but I'm gonna, focus more so on ambush hitting, which I'll get into a little bit later. Yeah, on or off, whatever you prefer. Next up, PCI plate coverage indicator. You can leave this on or off, whatever you like, whatever you feel most comfortable with. If you do leave it on, you can compromise settings, bat, white, 40%. I just like something small, or, something in the middle, something in the center. I'll maybe switch it up to diamonds or, something, but for the most part, it's just the bat or, the diamonds. Next, white is just kind of like white on white, but like white ball, white, just makes sense to my brain. 40% OP or apparency, just something that's in that you can still see, but it's not gonna be too, visible when you're not staring at it. Next up, camera. Now, there's only two options here in my opinion: strike zone and strike zone high. Pick which one you want. I personally go strike zone, but if you want a strike zone high, if you do better on that, go with that. It's all about what you do better with, but strike zone and strike zone high, you definitely want to try to get at least comfortable on. All these other strike zones, are not the best, and strike zone high, you're going to give you the closest and the best, best to see the ball. Next up, practice type. Now, obviously the pitching, let me explain that. I'm usually going somebody with a cutter or a sinker. That's usually what I like to go with. I'm just, a cutter and sinker are going to be the two best pitchers in the game. They have been for like the last couple years, so definitely want to go somebody like that. And with a hitter, I just gotta go whoever, I'm comfortable with, which Mike Trout. Now, the great thing about, practice or custom practice is you can customize all these different pitches. So say like I'm struggling with a sinker, right? I can change all this and just have sinkers. Say it's a inside pitch. You can select all these inside pitches. Now I'm not gonna do that right off, but that's the great thing about custom practice. You can customize so much. You can really get better at in certain pitches. Now, the first thing I like to do, at least for 5 to 10 minutes, right, is I'm just tracking the ball, right? I don't put anything on. I'm just kind of taking like a ranker bat here. I'm tracking. Now, what this will do is this will get your brain like ready. It's like, okay, you know what? Let me track it, get the movements down. And do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I promise you, you will get better. Just tracking the ball, and just I get that natural muscle memory down. Like, that's the biggest thing with this game is muscle memory. You don't want to think about when you're hitting. You just want to hit. Now let's talk about ambush hitting. Now, ambush hitting is something new they added this year, and what it means is, if say like it's an inside pitch, we'll go like a sinker. We'll go a sinker inside. Now ambush, if I set inside, right? Okay. It means I'm gonna get a bigger PCI right on that inside, and you get a bigger PCI on that inside and on the inside part. So this is going to be good, like especially with guys that tend to, we all fall into tendencies, right? Like that is just the nature of the game, right? We all like have certain things we do when we're pitching, hitting, whatever it may be. It's just how our brains work. We're accustomed to do similar things. So if say he's pitching you a lot inside, right, in 2 straight counts, gives you that sinker, you can just do that, fellas. You can just do that. Now, okay, say you guess outside, right, and he throws an inside pitch. Watch what's gonna happen. It's gonna shrink that PCI, and I think it makes the speeds a lot harder. I think I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to look more into that, but it's definitely gonna make it harder. But yeah. So we'll just we're just gonna hit, fellas. I kind of woke up like maybe an hour ago, and my brain has been might not hit the best, fellas, but I'm gonna give you these tips. We gotta get out of the content. That's the main goal. Yeah, we're gonna select all of them, and we're just gonna hit for you, fellas. We're just gonna show you what's up. And I'm gonna talk through my process and just some of the stuff that that you may ask. The one question I get asked is what I'm looking for when I'm hitting, right? Now, I think it's pretty obvious, but just for people that may not know, I'm just looking at the ball. Like, I know you'll hear a lot about like tempo in and all of that. Now it is something good, and I might explain it in a future video. But honestly, what you're just focusing on is you're just focusing on the ball at the end of the day. Like you're just trying to focus on hitting the baseball and hitting it hard. Yeah. And it all comes down to muscle memory and just being relaxed at the plate. Like that is the biggest thing I've learned with this game is don't overthink. You just have to hit. Like it's not there's nothing to do with your monitor, nothing to do with, any which way you look at it. You just have to hit in this game. You just have to not think and just swing the baseball. Swing the baseball. Yeah, hell, swing the base, swing the PCI, swing the bat. And hitting while talking extremely hard, fellas. My brain doesn't do the 2 things at once. I gotta do one or the other. But yeah, it's just about figuring out what works for you. As you can see, sometimes I'll sit my, I like to, have this little, I'll sit it up a little bit here. That's kind of just where I feel comfortable at. But you could start it like down here, up here, in the middle, just whatever you do. And it's all about finding a PCI moment. I'm probably not the most inconsistent with my PCI rate and inconsistent with timing. But when I don't think about it and just hit, you do so much better. It is crazy the amount your brain will overthink certain things. You just, like in baseball, like with anything, like once you stop like thinking, you do so much better. I will guarantee you. It's nothing to do with how your monitor is, or if you by the way, if you don't have a monitor, you know what? It's not gonna be the end of the world, but that definitely helps. It's nothing to do with like your thumb placement, your control freaks if you use them, or precision rings, which I highly recommend. I'm personally rocking the Galaxy with the green precision ring. I need to get some more, but yeah, it's nothing to do with that. The simplest thing to hitting, right, is to just be selective. Now this is another thing, as far as like my approach goes, right? I'm waiting for certain pitches and certain counts. Good lord, what was that PCI? Yeah, that's why I can't talk in it. But I am waiting for certain pitches in certain counts. Now, if and that goes back to ambush hitting too. Like I'm being, if he's throwing me a lot of inside, or whatever he's throwing me. Say he throws me every single time an outside cutter in a 2-strike count, or in 2-strike counts he likes to go cutter outside. I'm gonna sit outside and I'm gonna get that PCI boost, or that, it's just gonna help me out so much. This game really is about knowing when to be aggressive and knowing not to. That is the biggest thing. Don't be patient when you don't need to, right? He's just throwing you like the same pitches over and over. You're not gonna, you're not gonna take it. You're gonna jump on it and get a homer. Like I think that is the biggest thing to do, is knowing when to be selective, or when to be patient, and when to be aggressive. I think that is the two biggest things that are gonna help you out tremendously. Like knowing when to swing, knowing when to take. Let's try to get a couple more swings in. Just talking with you guys. I'm trying to really lock in here. And my PCI is not the best. I try to get on top of stuff. It's just how I do. Like I feel like I don't slam as much if I try to get on top of stuff. Now for the most part, people are gonna pitch you a lot more like low in the game usually, But that's just kind of something you gotta feel comfortable with your PCI. Just knowing what you like to do and do it subconsciously. Like I don't think about what I do with my PCI, because then if I think about it, and then I just mess it up. Like I probably do like different things each and every time, And I think another thing, this may be the sweat in me, right? But I think going back and watching some of your gameplay and seeing what you do on perfects, and just seeing what you do, on the pitches you do good, right? I think helps out tremendously. This game is all about, and another thing too, this game's all about reps at the end of the day. Like I could tell you, and you could watch this video 1,000 times, if you need to. But at the end of the day, you just need to play online. Just get the reps. Like that is the biggest thing. Getting these reps on these higher difficulties, being selective, doing the best things you can possibly do to, succeed in this game. And I think, once you learn how to, do that and not overthink, I think that's my biggest tip for anybody. Is to not overthink this game. And because at the end of the day, we're just here to have fun, right? So who cares if you're good or bad? Just go out there, have fun. Also, I'm gonna try to get another perfect for you guys, because goodness, or get another good swing, because my lordy, I am. Which one I started talking? Okay, there we go. But guys, I hope that this hitting tips video has helped you out, and hopefully you got a little, advice from it. And we're gonna be making a lot of these MLB 25 videos, and I can't wait to make content for you guys this year. Love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.